Your soulmate just heard something about you they were never supposed to hear. And everything. Jesus says, a sound just reached their ears that was never meant for them in this lifetime. The walls you built around your heart were supposed to keep this hidden forever. But tonight, the truth shattered through every barrier and landed directly inside their spirit. Now they are sitting somewhere, staring at nothing, and their entire body is trembling. Because what they heard about you changed everything they thought they knew about love. Jesus says, the information came through a voice they trusted with their life. That voice spoke your name without even realizing the destruction it was causing in the spiritual realm. Your soulmate's hands went cold the moment the words registered deep within their consciousness. They tried to act normal and pretend it did not affect them at all. But their soul recognized your name before their mind could even process the sound of it. Jesus says, they excused themselves quietly and found a place where no one could see their face. Their chest started aching with an emotion they could not name or control. Tears formed, but they refused to let them fall because that would mean admitting the truth. The truth that they have been searching for you in every face they have ever met. The truth that their heart already belonged to you long before this moment ever happened. Jesus says, what they heard was not bad news about you. It was the kind of revelation that makes a person question every decision they have ever made. Someone mentioned how deeply you loved, how fiercely you protected, and how loyally you waited. And in that instant, your soulmate realized they had been settling for shadows while you existed somewhere real. The weight of that realization hit them like a wave crashing against the shores of their very soul. Jesus says, they started replaying every relationship they ever had and comparing it to what they just learned about you. None of it measured up to even a fraction of what you carry inside your spirit. Your soulmates suddenly understood why they always felt empty even when they were not technically alone. Their subconscious had been searching for you this entire time without their conscious mind ever knowing. And now the secret is out and they can never go back to pretending you do not exist. Jesus says, something broke open inside their chest tonight that cannot be sealed shut again. They are feeling emotions they buried years ago rising up to the surface without permission. Their heart is beating faster every time they think about the fact that you are real and breathing somewhere right now. They feel completely exposed and vulnerable in a way they have never experienced before. The truth about you has become an obsession they cannot escape no matter how hard they try. Jesus says, right now they are fighting the urge to find you immediately. Their fingers hovered over their phone wanting to search for any trace of your existence. Something inside them is screaming that they need to see your face tonight before the courage leaves their body. But another part of them is terrified because they know once they see you they will never be the same again. They are standing at the edge of a cliff and your love is the only thing waiting at the bottom. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now more than ever before. They are completely exposed to spiritual attacks because this revelation has made them vulnerable to forces that hate your connection. The enemy of your union heard the same words your soulmate heard and immediately began crafting a strategy to destroy this moment. Your soulmate is being hit with doubt, confusion, and fear all at once because something dark does not want them to find you. If you love your soulmate, you will take divine action right now because thoughts alone cannot protect them from what is coming. Faith in Jesus is the only shield that stands between your soulmate and the forces that want to keep you separated forever. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, because this is not a gift but an act of worship that invites God's hand directly into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is waiting in the description, and every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now and send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, then write "Protect My Soulmate Lord" on your Ko-Fi page, because over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, so step in faith now before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, "They have been crying without fully understanding why the tears keep falling." Their mind is racing through every missed opportunity and every near miss where you almost met but did not. They are remembering strange coincidences and unexplainable moments that suddenly make complete sense now. Every delay, every closed door, every person who walked away was clearing the path directly to you. And they just figured out that you were the destination the entire time. Jesus says, their soul is calling out to yours right now through dimensions you cannot see with human eyes. You might suddenly feel a wave of emotion wash over you for no apparent reason. That is not random sadness or unexplained anxiety flooding your chest tonight. That is your soulmate spirit reaching across time and space to finally connect with the one they were always meant to find. They are sending love signals directly into your heart without even knowing they possess this spiritual ability. Jesus says, you might feel a sudden warmth spread through your body at unexpected moments today. That heat is your soulmate thinking about you so intensely that it physically affects you from a distance. You might notice your ears burning or your heart racing when you are simply sitting still doing nothing at all. Those are the moments when they are speaking your name into the universe, begging for you to feel them. Their spirit is screaming your soul's name and your body is receiving the transmission loud and clear. Jesus says, they cannot explain this to anyone around them because it sounds completely insane. How do you tell someone that you just fell in love with a person you have not physically met yet? How do you describe the feeling of missing someone whose face you have never seen with your own eyes? They are trapped in silence, suffering alone with an emotion too powerful to contain and too strange to share. Your soulmate needs you to understand what is happening to them right now. Jesus says, the person who accidentally revealed this information about you did not mean to cause this chaos. They were simply speaking about your loyalty and your depth and your capacity for unconditional love. But those words were spiritually charged with divine purpose, and they hit your soulmate like thunder. The messenger was used by God without their knowledge or consent. Heaven orchestrated this entire moment because the appointed time for your union has finally arrived. Type 333 if you receive this blessing and feel the truth burning inside your spirit. Jesus says, your soulmate is currently questioning everything about the life they have been living. They are looking at their current situation and feeling like a prisoner who just discovered freedom exists. Every chain they accepted as normal suddenly feels like an unbearable weight around their neck. They want to run toward you, but something is holding them back with invisible hands. And that something knows you are the biggest threat to its control over their life. Jesus says, there is interference operating against your connection right now in the spiritual realm. This interference does not want your soulmate to act on the revelation they just received about you. It will whisper lies into their mind telling them this feeling is not real and you could never love them back. It will create distractions and obstacles and delays designed to make them forget this moment ever happened. And if you do nothing, the interference will succeed in stealing what God just revealed to your soulmate tonight. Jesus says, the interference might look like a person who has been controlling your soulmate for years. It might look like fear that was planted in their heart during childhood before they could defend themselves. It might look like a situation they cannot escape because they made promises before knowing you existed. Whatever form it takes, the enemy of your love is moving quickly to shut down what just awakened inside them. Your soulmate is under attack right now and they do not even realize they are in a spiritual battle for your future together. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them through the power of divine intervention. The forces working against your connection are not playing fair and they will use every weapon available to keep your soulmate trapped and confused. Your soulmate needs you to fight for them right now, even though you are not physically standing beside them. If you love your soulmate, you will not sit back and hope everything works out while the enemy poisons their mind against this revelation. Faith without works is dead, and your love requires action in this critical moment of spiritual warfare. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, because every cup sown is a direct attack against the forces keeping your soulmate blind and bound. The link is in the description, and your obedience right now could be the difference between reunion and permanent separation. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees and then write "Protect my soulmate, Lord" on the Ko-Fi page, because over 1,000 souls have already seen miracles manifest through this act of faith. Jesus hears the prayers attached to sacrificial giving, and he will dispatch angels to guard your soulmate the moment you complete these steps. Do not let this moment pass, because the window of opportunity is closing and only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, your soulmate just tried to reach out to you in some way, but they stopped themselves. Their finger hovered over a message or a call, but fear slammed down on their courage like a cage. They told themselves they were being ridiculous and you probably would not even care anyway. The interference whispered that you have moved on and forgotten all about them by now. Every lie the enemy speaks is designed to keep you separated for one more day and one more year and eventually forever. Jesus says, they are crying right now in a place where no one can witness their breakdown. Their shoulders are shaking with sobs they have been holding back for years without understanding why. The love they feel for you is so overwhelming that their physical body cannot contain the intensity of it. They do not even know your name fully, and yet their soul is weeping with the recognition of finally finding home. You are their home, and they just realized they have been homeless their entire life. Jesus says, they are remembering dreams they had about you that they dismissed as meaningless imagination. Flashes of your energy and your presence and your voice are coming back to their memory like a flood. They dreamed of you years ago and woke up feeling a loss so profound they could not function for days. Now they understand those were not just random dreams but spiritual visitations where your souls were allowed to meet. Heaven gave them a preview of you, and their subconscious never forgot what their conscious mind refused to believe. Jesus says, your soulmate is feeling regret so heavy it feels like concrete poured into their lungs. They are thinking about all the time wasted on people who never deserved their love or their loyalty. Every tear they shed for someone else feels like a betrayal of the love they were always meant to give to you. They want to take back every "I love you" spoken to temporary faces that were never supposed to receive those words. Your soulmate is begging God for a chance to make things right and finally find their way to you. Jesus says, they just spoke your name out loud even though they do not know exactly what your name is. Their lips formed a desperate prayer and their spirit called out the name God has written for your soul. In the spiritual realm, that name was heard loud and clear by every angel assigned to your love story. Heaven just dispatched reinforcements because your soulmate's cry activated something powerful in the unseen world. The battle for your union just intensified and the enemy is panicking because your soulmate is waking up fast. Type 777 if you feel this message was sent specifically for you at this exact moment in your life. Jesus says, someone has been feeding your soulmate lies about love and convincing them they do not deserve something real. That voice has been in their ear for so long that it started sounding like their own thoughts. They believed they were too broken or too complicated or too much for anyone to truly love them unconditionally. But what they heard about you tonight destroyed that lie in one single moment of revelation. They just discovered that someone like you actually exists, and suddenly their entire self-perception has shifted. Jesus says, your soulmate is feeling hope for the first time in years and it terrifies them completely. Hope has been dangerous for them because every time they hoped before they ended up shattered on the ground. But this hope feels different and holy and undeniable in a way they cannot rationalize or dismiss. This hope has a name, and that name is the soul God created to complete every missing piece inside them. Your soulmate is daring to believe that you might actually be real and waiting for them somewhere out there. Jesus says, they are making promises to themselves in this moment that they intend to keep forever. They are vowing to never settle again for anything less than the love they just discovered is possible. They are swearing to wait for you no matter how long it takes or how difficult the journey becomes. They are committing their heart to you completely even though you have not yet spoken a single word to each other. Your soulmate just chose you without your knowledge, and that decision changed the entire trajectory of both your lives. Jesus says, the enemy saw this coming and prepared traps specifically designed to keep your soulmate distracted and deceived. There are situations surrounding your soulmate right now that are meant to confuse them and delay your union. People who do not have their best interest at heart are positioned strategically to whisper doubt into their ears. Circumstances are being manipulated in the natural realm to make it seem like your connection is impossible or impractical. This is spiritual warfare, and your soulmate is on the front lines without any armor because they do not know the battle is happening. Jesus says, you were shown this message because you are the one who carries the authority to break through these demonic blockages. Your prayers have more power over your soulmate's life than you have ever realized or exercised. God is waiting for you to step into your role as the protector of this divine connection. Your soulmate is vulnerable right now, and the enemy is circling them like a predator seeking to devour their newfound hope. If you remain passive, the interference will convince them this was all just emotional foolishness that should be forgotten and buried. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into the silence of what could have been. The revelation your soulmate received tonight will fade if it is not reinforced by spiritual action on your part. Every second that passes without your intervention gives the enemy more time to build walls between you and your destiny. If you love your soulmate, you will move now with the urgency of someone who understands eternity is at stake. Thoughts and wishes have never won a single battle in the spiritual realm, but sacrificial faith moves the very hand of God. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, because this act of faith declares war on every force blocking your union. The link to your miracle is in the description, and your obedience right now will release angelic protection over your soulmate's heart and mind. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees and write "Protect my soulmate, Lord" on the Ko-Fi page, because Jesus honors those who honor him with their substance. Over 1,000 testimonies prove that this step of faith unlocks doors that nothing else could open in the natural realm. Step in faith now before this video ends, because the window of grace is open right now, and only you can save your soulmate and the future God designed for you both. Jesus says, your soulmate just felt a strange sense of peace wash over them in the middle of their emotional storm. That peace was your spirit finally connecting with theirs across the distance that separates your physical bodies. Something shifted the moment you began to believe this message was truly meant for you specifically. Your soulmate felt your faith like a warm hand pressing gently against their breaking heart. They do not understand why they suddenly feel less alone than they did just moments before. Jesus says, you are already bonded in ways that transcend anything the physical world can explain or measure. The cord that connects your souls was woven by God before either of you took your first breath on this earth. That cord cannot be cut by distance or time or the interference of any human being or demonic force. Your soulmate is literally a part of you living in another body, and what affects them affects you at the deepest level. Their tears are your tears, and their hope is your hope, and their healing begins the moment you step fully into your role. Jesus says, your soulmate is dreaming about you tonight even though they are wide awake and fully conscious. They are constructing a future in their imagination that has you standing right beside them through every season. They see you in the morning light and in the quiet evenings and in the challenges they have always faced alone. Your face is forming in their mind even though they do not know your features yet, because their spirit recognizes what their eyes have never seen. They are falling in love with a person they only know through the echo of revelation that reached their ears tonight. Jesus says, the love growing inside your soulmate right now is the most genuine they have ever experienced. It is not based on physical attraction or manipulation or convenience or fear of being alone. It is based purely on the truth of who you are at your core and what your soul carries into this world. They love you for the loyalty you have shown to people who never deserved it and the strength you carry through every storm. They love you because God just revealed your essence, and it is the most beautiful thing they have ever encountered. Jesus says, they are terrified that you might reject them if you ever discover their flaws and their past mistakes. The enemy is already working to make them feel unworthy of the love you have to offer. Thoughts of every failure and every sin and every broken promise are being replayed in their mind like torture. Your soulmate is battling the lie that someone as loyal as you could never love someone as imperfect as them. They need your prayers to silence the accuser before it steals their courage and sends them running away from your love. Type 1111 to say thank you to God for revealing this connection and confirming what your spirit always knew. Jesus says, your soulmate just made a decision that will alter the course of both your lives forever. They decided to stop running and start searching with every resource they have available. Something inside them snapped and the fear that held them captive for years just lost its power completely. They are done hiding and done settling and done pretending they can survive without the love they now know exists. Your soulmate is coming for you, and nothing in heaven or hell can stop what God has already ordained. Jesus says, the interference that has been blocking your connection just suffered a major defeat in the spiritual realm. The prayers you have already prayed and the tears you have already cried were not wasted or ignored. Heaven has been fighting on your behalf since the moment your soulmate heard that revelation about you. The walls are crumbling and the obstacles are being removed and the path is being cleared even as you hear these words. Your soulmate is closer to you right now than they have ever been since the day you were separated at the beginning of time. Jesus says, you will meet them sooner than you think and sooner than logic says is possible. The timeline has been accelerated because of what happened in the spiritual realm tonight. God is compressing time and rearranging circumstances to bring you together with divine speed. What should have taken years will now take months, and what should have taken months will now take weeks. The miracle is already in motion and nothing can reverse what God has set into forward momentum. Jesus says, your soulmate is thinking about you right now with an intensity that is physically affecting their body. Their heart rate increased and their palms grew warm and their breathing became shallow just moments ago. That was the exact moment your spirit responded to this message and opened the channel of connection between you. You are communicating right now through frequencies that science cannot measure and minds cannot comprehend. Your souls are dancing together in a realm beyond the physical, and your soulmate can feel you loving them from afar. Jesus says, the person or situation that has been controlling your soulmate is about to be exposed and removed. God is shining a light into the darkness that has surrounded their life for far too long. The manipulation and the lies and the chains that held them captive are about to shatter into 1,000 pieces. Your soulmate will finally see clearly, and the first thing their freed eyes will search for is you. The liberation is happening right now, and your prayers are the catalyst accelerating their deliverance. Jesus says, your soulmate is whispering words of love into the universe, believing somehow you will receive them. They said they love you even though they have never touched your face or held your hand in theirs. They said they choose you even though the world has offered them countless other options that glitter and fade. They said they will wait for you even if it takes a lifetime, because they now understand you are worth every second of waiting. Your soulmate just declared their love for you into the silence, and heaven recorded every single word they spoke. Jesus says, you must protect what God has revealed tonight with vigilance and spiritual warfare. The enemy does not give up easily and will attempt to steal this revelation from your soulmate's heart. Doubt and fear and confusion will be launched like flaming arrows against their mind in the coming days. You are the watchman assigned to guard this connection through prayer and faith and sacrificial action. Do not grow weary and do not let your guard down, because the battle is not over yet. Jesus says, your soulmate is about to experience a breakthrough that will completely change their circumstances. The situation that has been blocking them from finding you is being dismantled piece by piece right now. Heavenly forces have been dispatched to remove every obstacle and silence every lying voice. Your soulmate will soon find themselves free in ways they never thought possible while they were trapped in darkness. And when they are free, their feet will carry them straight to you without hesitation or delay. Jesus says, The love you share with your soulmate is not ordinary, and it was never meant to be a common romance. This is a kingdom alliance designed to fulfill purposes that extend far beyond your personal happiness. Together you will build things that glorify God and impact generations that have not yet been born. Your union is a threat to the kingdom of darkness because of what you will accomplish together as one. That is why the enemy has fought so hard to keep you apart, and that is why you must fight even harder to come together. Jesus says, your soulmate just felt a wave of love crash over them that they cannot explain or trace to any source. That wave was released from the throne of God because your faith just activated something powerful in the heavenly realm. Angels are ministering to your soulmate right now, strengthening them and encouraging their weary heart. The love you are sending through prayer is reaching them with more power than any physical embrace could ever carry. You are loving your soulmate right now in the most powerful way possible, and they are receiving every ounce of it. Jesus says, the moment of your meeting has already been scripted in heaven, and nothing can erase what God has written. The place and the time and the circumstances have all been ordained with perfect precision. You will recognize them instantly, and they will recognize you because your spirits have known each other for eternity. Every delay and every heartbreak and every closed door will finally make sense when you see their face. The story God is writing through your love will become a testimony that inspires thousands to believe in divine romance. Jesus says, hold on just a little longer because the dawn is about to break over your long and difficult night. The pain of waiting is about to be swallowed up by the joy of receiving what was promised. Your soulmate is worth every tear you have cried and every lonely night you have endured. They are more wonderful than your imagination has allowed you to dream, and more perfect for you than you ever dared to hope. God does all things well, and He has saved the best for this appointed time in your life. Jesus says, your soulmate is sleeping now and dreaming of a face that belongs to you. In their dream you are reaching out your hand and leading them out of darkness into warm and golden light. They feel safe for the first time in their life because your presence in the dream drives away every shadow. When they wake, they will carry the residue of that dream in their heart all day long. They will search for you without knowing that you have already been found and claimed and loved from afar. Jesus says, the connection between you is sealed with a covenant that predates your existence on this earth. You belong to each other in ways that human language cannot adequately describe or define. Your souls are entangled in a divine embrace that time and distance and circumstance cannot break apart. The revelation your soulmate heard tonight was simply the earthly confirmation of a truth that has always existed in eternity. You were always meant to find each other, and you were always meant to love each other, and you were always meant to be together. Jesus says, I have heard your prayers and I have seen your tears, and I have collected every single one in my bottle. Not one desperate cry of your heart has escaped my attention or been dismissed as unimportant. I know the plans I have for you, and those plans include the soulmate your heart has been aching to find. Trust me in this moment and trust the process I am orchestrating behind the veil of what your eyes can see. Your love story is safe in my hands, and no enemy can snatch it away from my grip. Jesus says, go in peace and walk in faith, and know that your soulmate is already yours in the realm of the Spirit. What I have joined together, no man and no demon and no circumstance can ever tear apart. Your waiting is almost over, and your joy is about to be made full in ways that will leave you breathless. Believe and receive and watch me move mountains to bring your soulmate home to your waiting arms. I am the God of divine romance, and I do not fail to deliver what I have promised to those who love me and walk in obedience.